Another case study, this time 0 to 10K day with an old meta store that we switched to Google, and within a month we reached a 10K day. I'm gonna explain you guys what we did to change the meta store to make it Google compliant, how we got it GMC approved, then I'm gonna talk about the stats, then I'm gonna talk a bit about after sale. I'm gonna explain you guys how we managed to boost even more the best sellers that we had, and then I'm gonna talk about Chinese New Year and what our plan is for this store, because this store is still running to this day. We really quickly managed to hit 10K days, and now it's consistently doing 10 to 12K days. Obviously, it's currently the 28th of January, so we had to scale down for Chinese New Year, but this time will allow us to build more Google stores like these, buy old meta stores, and convert them to Google stores, which we will launch end of Chinese New Year to be able to scale to crazy numbers then. So let's dive straight into it. What changes did we make to this meta store to make it Google compliant and be able to launch it on Google? So here you see, I use the app Hexton Bulk Product Edit. So pretty much you have to imagine once we have an old meta store, there's a lot of things you have to change. For example, a meta store usually has discounts up to 80%. It has like these weird icons in the titles or trademark icons. The capitalization can be weird, like the title might be in all capitals. They might have GTIN codes. The collections might be wrong, and these are all things Google is actually looking at and might get you disapproved. So first things first, what we did with this Google store, or at least this meta store, is we installed the app Hexton Bulk Product Edit. It's honestly my favorite app to use to make bulk changes to all of my products on my store. So one of the first changes I did is I updated the compare ad price, which is the discount price, to 200% of the actual price. So let's say an item costs $40. Well, the discounted price will be $80. So it would be on a 50% sale, and that's the maximum you can have on a Google store. So that's also why I made this change, to make sure that all of our products are on a 50% discount right off the bat. Since we approved this store with our insider, we can do this, but if you want to approve your store using the other method, which is a slower method where you upload 5 AI products, well, obviously this won't work. So this is a case study about a store that we approved with our GMC insider, so keep that in mind. So we put all the products on 50% discount. We removed trademark from the title, so all the titles which had this trademark or this R icon in it, you all know it from big brands. We removed it from the title because that's also not allowed for Google. And of course, even though we're approving this store with the Google Insider, we want to keep it alive, or at least like live as long as possible. So that's why we're making all these changes. I could have just launched the store as it is, but it's not long term. And we look at Google stores as assets. We want to have them for as long as possible. So that's why we make all of these changes. And I'm currently going through all of them, so you can learn from it and take notes. So then what I did is I changed the title capitalization to the first letter uppercase. So what is this going to do? For example, sometimes meta stores have titles which are fully in uppercase. What is this going to do? Internally, it's going to change all the titles. So the first letter of every word, for example, you have long sleeve shirts. Well, L will be in capital, S from sleeve will be in capital, and the S from shirt will be in capital. And that's it. Because Google, obviously, it takes the internal name, even though on the front end in your team, you're showing the title as capitalized. Internally, it always has to be in, I think it's called camel caps, something like that. So the first letter of each word is capitalized. Really important also. I changed the vendor to our store name. Usually people from Meta don't really care about the vendor. It's an option in, it's an SKU in Shopify. Well, for Google, it's really important that this is always your store name. It has to be consistent over all your products. So that's why I also did a bulk change to all of our products with this vendor. I cleared the barcode. You might have seen it in your Google Merch Center where you have an error code that says invalid GTIN. It's something Google uses, barcodes, whatever. I don't even know what it is. I just know that it has to be empty. So that's why I cleared all of the barcodes and I updated the GTIN to be blank. Then obviously I did some reorganization in the collections because everything was a mess. I like my stores to be clean. So if I ever need something, I can easily navigate on my own store, because that's something you got to keep in mind. Like if you're already having a hard time navigating through your own store, through the collections and all that, imagine from a buyer perspective. They're just going to be confused where to start. If they're looking for a certain item, they don't know where to find it on your store. That's why I pay a lot of attention to our collection and organization, so everything is clean and organized within my Google store. So these are the bulk changes that I made. Obviously, I made a bit more of these, but these are the main ones, the most important ones that I've applied to this store. So once these changes have been made, I made some adjustments to the website. It's time to apply for the Google Merch Center account. So I created the Google Merch Center account. You can see it here around, I think it's the 12th of December, let's say here. Obviously, it took some days to get the products approved. So from the 12th to the 18th, 6 days it took. Sometimes it can be 1 day, sometimes it can be 6 days. It really depends. Obviously, we have methods to get them approved quicker, which we cover in the AB Inner Circle. We have provided a full email template you have to send to Google to get them approved quicker. So that's what I did here, probably because it was taking too long. Here in gray means under review, it was taking too long. So I contacted Google, and here you can see that it slowly started getting approved. And then here you see within a day, everything got approved. So that once the products got approved over here, so let's say this is the 22nd of December. Once all the products approved, I launched the initial misrep campaign, the shopping PMax, and then my whole feed got disapproved. I triggered this because I want to trigger the misrep so I can send it over to my Google Insider so he can approve it internally and remove all the internal flags so I can scale through the moon for the next upcoming months. So that's what we did. The feed got disapproved, misrep was here, and then we got it approved on the 2nd of January, I think it was. Oh no, the 29th of December. Here we go. So on the 29th of December, the products got approved again. I think it's even later, so the 30th, something like that. Doesn't really matter in this whole case study. But we got them approved over here, and then we launched again the ads. And then obviously we see that our product feed was staying approved. This is how it looks here. So we launched the ads actually a little bit after 31st of December, so actually the start of the year. And then you see like the growth, it was insane. Like it rapidly started getting sales because this store had around, I think, 12.5, I think this is around 300, 400 products on it. It's a pretty small feed, but this feed was optimized to be only seasonal products. So there was no shit products in it. Like it was only seasonal products that are in high demand, which we handpicked one by one. So we know, okay, this feed, it will crush it. And indeed, it did crush it. We quickly started doubling the budget, as you can see here. So as you can see, actually on the 6th of January, we launched the first ads. The green is the cost, so the ad spend, and as you can see, we quickly started doubling. Here you can see like the big spikes in ad spend, and here we're currently at 3K ad spend per day, and this is in the time frame of 6th January until the 25th. So that's about 19 days. And here with 2.9K ad spend, we managed to hit a 10K day, 10K pounds. So that's already, I think, 12K euros. So yeah, that is honestly really quick. Here you see from the 10th of January, actually, it started picking up the sales. So obviously there's always going to be like a kind of a warm-up budget. You need to buy some data, but obviously if your feed is optimized and all the products are handpicked and in high demand, well, your feed will start picking up really quick. And as you can see here, starting around the 12th of January, we started getting sales consistently. And then we already easily hit 1K day, and then we 2K, 3K, 4K. And this was always with a solid ROAS of 3 to 4. I think at the start we were even hitting ROAS 5 to 6. That's something really common you will see with Google stores, where at the start you will see insane ROAS. Like you will see ROAS 5, 6. And then obviously the more you will scale, the more consistent your ROAS will be. Let's say usually around 3. That's why we try and keep our ROAS. That's something honestly you will never see with Meta, and that's why we love Google, because it's consistent. And once you reach a certain ROAS, you can just keep on scaling and stabilize on that ROAS called the target ROAS. I'm not gonna go too deep into the media buying part because we outsource that to a very good source of ours. It's someone in our network, and the whole AB Inner Circle has access to this guy. He's really insane. Recently, he managed to scale one of our close friends which we were kind of helping with his first Google store. We managed to scale him from 0 to his 96K day in 10 days. That's obviously insane. This is not common, but I mean, it's his first ever Google store. I guess he got blessed by the Google Ads gods. I don't know what happened, but honestly, that result is insane. But here, I'm just trying to be as transparent as possible. Not everything is like this. For example, this was, let's say in 10, 15 days, we scaled to 10K day consistent. If Chinese New Year wasn't around the corner, we would probably hit 20, 30K days with the store easily in 1-2 weeks. So it's a bit to go over the stats. Obviously, also the good thing about Google is that you scale slowly. So with Meta, you can go from 0 to 40K days within a week. And obviously, your Shopify payments will just collapse and you will get holds, you will get suspensions and all that. With Google, it's slow. So you start with 1 sale, then 10 sales, 20 sales, and you just quickly start climbing up. Okay, it's also quick, but at least your Shopify payments has time to adjust. So that's really good also. Another big adjustment that we did, I see that I implemented after sale on the 16th of January. Once I see the store starts gaining momentum, I decided to make my optimizations in the backend to increase LTV. So what I did on this store is I added after sale. It's a post-purchase app which is going to show similar items to the customer to propose him at a discount, because he already paid to make the client make a purchase. So might as well get him to buy a second time or a third time. So that's why I added after sale. This can be a huge revenue increaser. As you can see, at our peak, we were hitting £480 per day just from after sale. And this is literally just free cash. All we have to pay on this is cost of goods, but we're not paying ad spend because we already paid ad spend to get this client to buy once, and this is already a second purchase. This is really the advantage of after sale. Obviously, we also set up the thank you page, but that is still warming up since the store was pretty new still. But to know our whole after sale, I made a full-on 15-minute video in the inner circle yesterday, and I posted in the school about how we set up our after sale funnel from A to Z, and which has helped us generate over tens of thousands pure profits from after sale. So obviously, since this was a Meta store, one thing I also want to mention is that this store didn't have size charts. You might be familiar with the app Kiwi size charts. Well, this store didn't have any. So the game plan I had in mind was, okay, once the store starts scaling, obviously the best sellers are going to start reorganizing. I will go to my bestseller page and I will see the best sellers in page 1 and 2 and 3. So what I did is for all these bestsellers, I started adding size charts, because based off data and back and forth with our customer service from the weekly reports from our COO, I saw that a lot of emails were coming in for this store about what size should I pick? I'm UK size this, what size should I pick? All these kinds of size questions. I was like, okay, let me investigate, and I actually realized that this store didn't have size charts. That's also something I would really advise you guys to do. Check your bestsellers and check if they have size charts, because that's really important, especially in fashion dropshipping, where you want to know your size. You know what size you want to know what size you want to order. So it's really important to have size charts on your website. And I added this quite late. I should have done this earlier, but at least it's a lesson I learned now, and I will know for the future that I should add it. So we added size charts for our bestseller pages. And then the game plan we have for this store during Chinese New Year, because obviously currently it is the 28th of January. Obviously we have to pause our ads, well, at least downscale a lot, because we don't want to run through Chinese New Year and risk our whole payment structure that's worth more than being able to run for another month. We're going to use Chinese New Year to build a lot of new Google stores, approve them, and then we can start scaling close to the end of Chinese New Year, so we can start getting early momentum. So what we did for all of our stores, and this one in particular, is we start running it on a low budget. The reason why we don't want to shut down ads is because you still want to keep some traffic going, and you still want to show it to Google like, hey, we're still running ads, it's just on a low budget right now. And also it's really important to keep running ads on your GMC, which is live, because if there's no ads on your GMC, you might also risk a disapproval, a misrepresentation, or a website needs improvement suspension. What else we're going to do is we're going to add a widget on the product page, which is clearly visible, don't hide it, mentioning that there is currently longer delivery times. It will just be a text or like a bubble text like, hey, when ordering, keep in mind there's going to be longer delivery times due to the winter sale, holiday sale, whatever sale you're running. Make sure to mention that. Also, we have email flow set up in place to communicate with the clients. Hey, your order is in last quality check and all that. Everything I'm explaining here is also deeply explained in the AB Inner Circle in a particular module about Chinese New Year and our full game plan. Also, what we're going to do in Chinese New Year is draft zombie products. We recently shared a tool which we started using to able to see zombie products. What are zombie products? Zombie products are products that are, one, not getting any spent, or two, getting spent, a lot of spent, but on bad ROAS. That's the only problem we see with Google, is that data is not really clear. Like, you have Google Merch Center, you have Google Ads and Shopify. This tool blends all the data in one dashboard, and you're able to see ROAS based on product level, but also on variant level. And this for us is a really, really helpful tool, because we can start drafting products based off ROAS. So if we see a product is getting a lot of spend, and it might also get a lot of sales, but the ROAS is really bad, well, we want to draft this product as soon as possible, because we don't want to spend all the ad spend to that particular product, even if it's getting a bad ROAS. So it's better off drafting that product so your ad spend goes to products which aren't getting any spend yet. That's really useful with this tool. We're going to write a whole SOP about it very soon. Honestly, really excited about this tool. And then also we're going to work on our product feeds, and we're going to start importing seasonal products. Obviously, it's currently in the middle of the winter. You shouldn't be importing winter products, as you may know. You should be focusing on spring and summer, because those are the upcoming seasons. People are shopping for the upcoming season and not for the previous seasons or the current seasons. They already did that during Black Friday. So that's the short and pretty powerful case study I want to do about this store. It's about a meta store that we switched to Google and managed to hit a 0 to 10K day very quickly, honestly, for Google. We have case studies like these honestly every week, because we're pumping out stores every week, scaling them. It's honestly a fun game once you understand how Google works, how to keep your stores compliant, how to approve them, and most importantly, how to have a perfect product feed. Because you can have the nicest websites, the coolest AI products or whatever. If your product feed doesn't match the demand, you will not be able to scale on Google. Compared to Meta, you can literally launch any product with a good ad or a clickbait ad, and you will get profitable, but not on the long term. Google is a long-term play. We look at every Google store as an asset. So we'd rather invest in Google stores than in stocks, honestly, because the ROI is way higher. But honestly, I'm gonna leave you for that. This was just about a case study. I hope you guys managed to learn something from it. If you want more videos like these, make sure to let me know in the comments. Like, subscribe, means a lot. And if you're interested in joining the AB Inner Circle and learning fashion Google dropshipping, or just Google branded dropshipping in general, make sure to check the link below. There is a link to the school community. It's only $250 per month, and honestly, the value you're getting from it it's unbelievable. There is no other community which is doing this. Arthur and me are still in the game. We're still pumping out Google stores every day. We're not a full-time coach. We're not a course seller. This is just a school community we created to teach others how to get started with Google, because we never had access to this kind of knowledge. And that's why we took the duty on us to teach people how to get started with Google. And we also do weekly group calls. We gave access to our whole network, Google insiders, media buyers, everything you get access to so you can get started. We already have a lot of good stories from the Inner Circle, members being happy, sharing their first sales, sharing their first 10K days, even 100K days. Like, we have everyone in the AB Inner Circle. So make sure to check that out. Means a lot, and we'll catch you guys in the next video. Ciao.